Let's walk you through the procedure on how to adapt the DD100 to your UltraPack Vexilar system. First thing we have to do is to undo the two screws that hold the base intact. Just a regular Phillips screwdriver will get the job done. Removing the battery will be your first step, and kind of take note on how the battery is organized when you take the lid off, because you want to make sure the cables return to the same situation that you've got them in now. Now we're just going to disconnect the battery terminals and set the battery on the side. Now notice how the cables are wrapped around the battery standoffs and how everything is organized. All right. Now the first step what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the old D130 or the T130 that was on your system by pushing off the standoffs. There's two little rivets that hold it in place, and you just push in on the back side, and these little rivets will pop out. I know some have replaced the rivets with screws, but just set these rivets aside. Oop, they popped out here. Just set these little rivets aside, and you can remove the D130 or the T130, whatever you may happen to have. Now take a look at the wire connectors. It's very critical, and actually it's one of the tips that we suggest is that you use two pliers to help pull them apart. Because a lot of times if you pry them apart, you'll pull apart the two clip connectors, then you got to crimp the wires on. And just pull them apart just like you see here. Alright, now you got a positive and negative just taken off. And now your D130 or T130, if you've got an older model, can be taken right out and set on the side. Now what we're going to do is kind of reverse the process. We're going to now thread through the cables of the DD100, but the cables don't go through the same holes that you had where that it came out of. Let me show you here. Let's attach now. We're going to attach on the. Oh yeah, first thing here we got to. What we see here, there's a little extra spade connector on the side there and we're going to just bend that baby off. You won't need that for this application. It's designed for the ProPack systems. Now what we're going to do is let's get those little plastic rivets back on. And what we use is just a nice needle nose pair of pliers. And grab the little clippers here on the end like that. And you're just going to position it underneath here, line them up, and push, and use the push pins to lock it back in place just like that. It's not that difficult to do as long as you got good lighting and a good pair of needle nose. You want to put the top one in, then the bottom one in. Just line up the holes and push them in. It's not that difficult. Now here's a little bit different though. You're going to have to understand that you're going to run up the main power cable. There's only one cable now that runs into your system, and it's the red power cord. And it goes up through the top, and it goes down the main cable access hole in the top there of the box, just like that. And now you have the positive lead comes through just like you see here. No big deal there. Now, this is the little bit tricky part. Remember those connectors that you just disconnected. Remember, keep the battery leads separate. The battery leads are staying out to the side. Those were connected to the batteries. Those just went to the the D130s or the T130. You just disconnected those. Simple process here. You just take the red positive and connect it to the red positive spade connector, just like that. Squeeze it in completely. And that's all there is to it. The black terminal remains unused. And now all we do is reverse the procedure to make sure the cables are wrapped around the battery standoffs, because the last thing you want is the battery being crimped against one of those wires, so it could cut or damage the wire. And so now we reattach the wire, the battery. Notice the battery's on the right side like you see here, and of course red goes to positive, black goes to negative. We have to make sure we tell people that, because a lot of times they connect them wrong. And of course the battery lays on its side like you see here. So you want to make sure you double check to make sure none of the cables are crimped or squeezed between the battery, because otherwise the case won't fit back on. Then all you simply have to do is to put the cover back on and replace the two screws. And now you've very easily and very quickly, as you can see, it doesn't take a lot of effort to create the UltraPack with the new DD100. All right, now that we've got the DD100 mounted on your UltraPack, let's test it out to see if it works. First, turn your master power switch on and nothing should happen. But if you do press the push to test button, It will display that the battery is at 100%, of course, but that